Te damos la bienvenida al podcast que te sumergirá a la fascinante travesía de hacer un intercambio en Irlanda, un país que sin duda te cambiará la vida. Quédate con nosotros y escucha Desde Irlanda para el Mundo.
Hello everyone, how you doing? We are here in one more episode of Desde Irlanda para el Mundo. And Nilka, how are you today?
Hello, Jorge. Hello, Ross. How are you?
I'm wonderful, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Special guest today because we're celebrating Paddy's Week. And we're celebrating Paddy's Week, and today we invite our friend Ross, who is a YouTuber and influencer over here in Ireland, who is sharing a lot of information about Irish culture and, of course, Irish community. And Ross, how are you today?
I'm great, Jorge. Thank you so much. I'm a little bit out of breath after me going to the gym earlier on for the first time in about a year. So I was running here going, I'm going to die. But apart from nearly dying, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
We start Paddy's Week and we start new life.
Exactly. Yeah, this before all the damage to all of our livers at this weekend.
Exactly.
Be responsible now.
Just before all the pints that we're going to get on the weekend.
Yeah, pints of water. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, water. Absolutely. Ross, telling us, what's going on with your channel? Just since a few years, you started became a very famous over here with the international community for all the content that you are making.
Infamous. But first of all, Jorge, thanks for inviting me. And also, the thing about being here is it's great to talk to all of you guys. It's a good chance to talk away from just being reels and short reels. My channel started in the end of 2019. I was under a little bit of pressure from a couple of my friends saying, why not start your own Instagram page? I said, well, there's the likes of other channels doing this and they're doing that. And they said, yeah, but they're not your perspective because you work as a tour guide. And I still work as a tour guide 5 years later. And I said, okay, I'll try my best. And at the time, because I was associated with my friends at eDublin, the Brazilian YouTube channel, I had a lot of Brazilian followers initially. So much so that my first reels had Portuguese subtitles. And it was crazy because it was the days before CapCut. So it wasn't even predictive auto captions. I was literally pausing every single, and it was 15 seconds long, the reels, remember? So I was pausing them, going into Google Translate, copy and pasting what I said into Portuguese, and then matching it to my speech, WhatsApp it to a Brazilian friend of mine and say, is that okay? And then they'll say, change this, because Google Translate, you always got to rely on it. Yeah. So that's how it started. And it was nice because up until then, I noticed that a lot of information about Ireland was but the Cliffs of Moher and the Temple Bar pub. It's like, that's the Disney version of Ireland. It's like, come on, man. It's like, talk about history, talk about the culture.
About a reality.
Yeah, a bit of reality,
what really happening over here.
Exactly, But it wasn't negative reality. It was just more the positive things. Yeah. As I always say, you don't have to look too far for negative. Negativity sells. Yeah. Social media, see if people are fighting, cool, push this into the algorithm, push it out there.
You will find more engagement when you say something. Yeah,
if you're controversial. Exactly. If you're controversial, negativity sells. Whereas I didn't really care about that stuff. I wanted to promote Ireland in a good light, not a hairy fairy light, as if to say, look at this place, it's perfect, come here to Ireland. It was just about giving good history and a bit about our culture. That was just more than trying to tell people, go to the Temple Bar pub, go to the Cliffs of Moher and stand there in the rain. It's I'm born and bred here. There's more than
Irish people doesn't go to Temple Bar.
No,
that's like no. And then to the cliff either.
No.
Yeah,
they will tell you to go to Kerry, to
Donegal,
different places.
Even Galway, but not to the Cliff of Moher.
Go to Galway City. And the amount of people that think the Cliffs of Moher is in Galway is crazy. It's not even in Galway, it's in County Clare. But that's how it got started. It was 5 years ago.
Because they kind of relation Clare with Galway. Like,
Clare and Galway, it's like a coastal thing. You go up through the Burren if you leave the Cliffs of Moher. This beautiful road, go up through Galway, fantastic. But my page started off very slow. I think my first ever video was what we call the Irish language in Irish, which is Gaelga. We don't really call it Gaelic. And people thought that was fascinating. So I'm like, okay. And then what happened was in early 2020, we all know what happened. So we all had a lot more time to sit at home on the couch. So I had a lot more time to make videos. So I started just making lots and lots and lots of content. People enjoyed it. And I said, oh God, I have to keep this up. I was watching my follower count go up and up and up, and I said, geez, yeah, no pressure. So it started to expand from there. It started in 2019. And because, as I said, I work full-time as a tour guide, it was natural for me to talk about most of the things that I talk about when I meet people from around the world on the tour buses. I used to bring people, I don't drive the buses, I'm a tour guide, but we'd go to the Cliffs of Moher, the Giant's Causeway, Newgrange, Hill of Tara, Wicklow, Malahide, Howth, Dublin City Centre. So I'm trained up on all those things. So I said, why not use my knowledge that I have and make it in short, snappy bits of information for people. So
absolutely,
yeah, to show more than it's the regular things you use over.
The regular 2 or 3 things that they talk about. You know what I mean? It was just an opportunity to showcase that, because there wasn't a lot of it at the time, and now I've noticed that there's a couple of more people starting pages that are kind of similar to me. And I don't mind that whatsoever. The more people, the better.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
more
actually
knowledge.
a good thing, because you inspire people.
Yeah.
Sometimes copy is something good. I was watching
what's the phrase? Something similarities. I'll come back to me later on.
But it's something good when somebody is trying to replicate what you're doing.
It's because you're doing the good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think so. And the thing about it as well is, the more accessible information that's out there for people, the better. Because I've some of my friends from Brazil, they'd be sitting in the pub and they'd be saying, well, yeah, remember last week you told me this, and blah, 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 and they go off and tell their friends. So good vibes spread.
Absolutely.
You know? So 5 years later, I'm still here, and I'm still here. Yeah. For some weird reason, I'm still doing this stuff. It's pretty addictive. I don't mean follower count, followers, whatever about that stuff. It's addictive for me when people go in the comment section and say, yeah, that's nice. I learned something from that. Because I kind of think during the week, okay, here's something, maybe I can give them more. So for some reason, I'm still here.
You know, like, you get a lot of comments on your posts. So some of them is like very funny. I just imagine, like,
I pinned them, Jorge. They're pinned.
Tell me something that you can find that you say, like, this seriously?
Where do I even begin? Well, I had someone a few weeks ago say to me in the comment section, so you guys speak Irish, like, as a native language? Well, yeah, we do. Well, some of us do. It's only 10% of us do. So we said, who was here before the Irish? And I said, well, if they're here first, then they're Irish. And he just couldn't understand that. Who was here first before the Irish? The Irish. Or also, I had a very not controversial, but if you know the history about our country, in Northern Ireland, or the north of Ireland, as a lot of us like to call it, there's the Londonderry/Derry controversy. And I got a lot of comments from people saying Londonderry, and then people fighting going Derry, Londonderry. Apart from that, people are pretty okay. Like, sometimes you just get those kind of little spammy things where people, I had a guy said to me last week, it was a video, it was on my reel about the counties of Ulster in the north of Ireland and how to pronounce them. And he said, ain't nobody cares, dude. And I wrote back and I said, well, apart from the 2,700 likes, 125,000 views on this reel, I suppose you're right, but you just walk along there. Good man. So you get that. You get people who just they think they're like they're heroes for 2 seconds. Just these silly little things.
Yeah.
But usually I just delete that stuff or just don't entertain it. But I thought it was just so good that I just had to respond and say, yeah, no one cares. Obviously, it's been shared, let's see, 250 times. But yeah, no one cares. You know?
I have 2 questions.
That's okay.
Well, like, will you tell me, like, how people sometimes think some cliche from Irish. We were talking before about the temple bar. How do you debate, like, say, a lot of people will drink in the temple bar. A regular Irish, what will do? Like, maybe
what do we do?
Yeah, actually, because it's Irish people even honestly don't go to temple bar, you know?
I mean, it's a city.
Well, Temple
Bar is a district.
Yeah.
As I always say to people, if you want to find us, go outside Temple Bar. We're in every pub that's not in Temple Bar in the city. So anywhere that's off Grafton Street, O'Connell Street, Parnell Street, Westmoreland Street, Delir Street, that's where I go.
Yeah.
Like I always say to people, wherever you're from, whatever your home country is, I'd like to think that you would bring me to the cool local places, not the touristy places. Temple Bar is our tourist district. Yeah. Now, I'm not talking bad about Temple Bar. Listen, the amount of revenue it brings into our country every single year. But
it's massive.
It's a lot of time it's heavily marketed by people saying, "Oh, come to Ireland, go to Temple Bar." Why? So you can hang out with people from New York, like the Irish
from
experience.
Germany.
Hi, man. Yeah, I'm from New York City. Yeah, I'm in the Temple Bar pub. I'm 5% Irish. Great. And then they go into the pub to hear Irish songs like, you know, Country Roads, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Wonderwall by Oasis. You know, oh yeah, the Irish experience. Yeah. But the barmen don't care because they hear a lovely sound called cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah, it's like, woohoo, global tourists. Yeah. But it's just our tourist district.
So that's the regular cliche that people
that's the cliche.
Yeah. What would you say? No, this is actually a cliche from an Irish person.
What would I think is a cliche?
Yeah.
The leprechauns, the leprechaun hat, the shamrock, the potatoes, whiskey. Also, that we're always drunk. Also,
Do you think it's like that? No, my point is, this is the typical cliche that we see from the outside. What would you call a cliche from the inside? No, actually, we're not this. This is us as a cliche.
As in like what we really are.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. I'd say we're well, first of all, personality-wise, we're some of the friendliest people in the world.
Definitely, 100%
I'll definitely say
agree.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
We are definitely very, very friendly.
Agree.
Yeah.
And what I would always say to people is, any country in the world, like it's very easy to kind of walk on the same 4 or 5 streets in a city center and think, this is this country. But once you get off those streets and you meet us and you go to the villages, you go to the towns. So I would say that's what I would say. A cliche that's correct about us is it's our personality and our warmth. Listen, every country is the same. There's always going to be idiots in every country. I'm not saying come to Ireland and 100% of all the people are going to be the best people you've ever met. But by law of averages, I would say the cliche that I definitely agree with is our personality.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
And our weather is awful. That cliche is true.
Yeah, sadly true. We compensate with the people.
We compensate with the people. Yeah.
Why is green everywhere? Because it never stops raining. We need to water our garden. It's like, last week it rained twice, once for 3 days, the other for 4.
Tell me something. You tell us one of your more famous videos is when you're talking about the proper pronunciation in Irish of the counties.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the only one that I remember and that I know is Laois. because
Jorge, you know why I put that one at the end? Because it was the most obvious one as well. Laois.
Yeah, Laois.
I was actually trying not to laugh when I was recording that day. I'm like, how am I taking this down? Laois. That reel went crazy.
Yeah. Tell me. So you're making this social media content. You're creating a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
So, but do you think that you have a special target or nationality who get more engagement?
Sorry. I think at the moment it's still probably Brazilian because from my Dublin days, there's a lot of engagement has been built up with those guys. But I've been very surprised in a good way. I've had a lot of people from Mexico. I've had a lot of people from Argentina, India.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. People from the USA. So it started to, because I started to consciously diversify my page about 2 years ago.
Okay.
I took a big risk. I said I need to transition my page from just Portuguese subtitles to just doing for everybody. Because one of my Brazilian friends said to me, but why not put English subtitles? Because if you put English subtitles in, the people who are from Brazil who are looking to learn how to speak English, they're learning anyway. Yeah. And then other people will follow. And I said, yeah, you're right. And then I thought that I think it was a big gamble and a big risk, but actually paid off pretty well. And things have gone well since then. And I'm sitting here doing these kind of things with you guys. Yeah. So I guess the gamble has paid off. So to answer your question, yeah, it was originally Brazilian. And then there is still a major Central American / South American. There is a big Latin community I've started to come to my page. And I like that because my page isn't called Talk to Brazil or Talk to Ireland. It's called Talk to Us. It's for everybody, really.
So, absolutely. Yeah. And then, I saw as well because I'm checking all the social media.
Stalker.
Gossiping.
Oh, yeah.
And then I see that you are trying to learn in Portuguese.
Sometimes.
So it is your goal at the moment, or what is? Do you have a language goal at the moment?
Not really, no.
No.
My language goal is to try and speak English every day, to be honest. I try to stay sober. No, to be honest, my stance with the Portuguese thing is I pick up what I can pick up.
Yeah.
I always use the analogy, I've said it on a few podcasts already, but you might as well say it again. If E. Dublin was from Poland, I'd be probably learning a little bit of Polish. If E. Dublin was from Pakistan, like I'd be any country. I didn't have this lifelong obsession with Brazil. It just so happened that my friend was from Brazil and started a YouTube channel and invited me to it. So my attitude to it is, if I pick up something, great. If I don't, great. But I've been told it's pretty good. Yeah. Like I've had Brazilian people on my tour bus when they come and visit Dublin, and você fala português, muito bom, gente. You know?
But you speak perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
that is great.
Just make it dramatic and it'll be okay. You know?
Yeah, you know, like I have some friends that they also speak just hola, ¿cómo está?
That's also what really angers Brazilian people when they're here. Actually, you're from Brazil. Hola, cómo está? You know?
You see, this is funny.
Yeah. They're like, no, don't say it. You know, but my Portuguese basically is it's whatever I can pick up, guys. I don't kill myself learning what I can learn. I can tune into a conversation in a pub when some of my Brazilian friends are talking, and I can understand a little bit. Yeah. And then sometimes Brazilian people will say something, and I'm like, oh, you have to be careful, you know. I eu entendi pouquinho, you know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Meu Deus, you know. So
well, and then tell me, like, what do you think about the Irish culture are opening for the international community?
I think we're doing pretty okay. I think what's gone on in the last few years hasn't really helped either. Like the internet has turned into a very toxic place. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and a lot of younger Irish people are very easily led by a lot of misinformation out there. Yeah. And some of them just have this, unfortunately, they have this negative perception in their head. Oh, you're not Irish. It's like, but look at us. Like 200 years ago, when we were starving, 1 million Irish people died of starvation in the famine. 1 million went for in search of a new life. We had to go to other countries. We had to bring our own culture and our own music and our own things to do.
That's true, yeah.
So you have to give other people the chance to do the same, I think. Yeah. But generally, we're very open. The only thing that Irish people ever say is, really, once you come here and you contribute to our country, there's no problem.
And don't get into any troubles. Don't be bad.
I'm sure if I went to your home countries, you'd be like, well, once you go there and either go to school and you contribute, hide the respect. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So I generally think we're pretty okay at that. It's just, as I said, with the likes of the TikToks of the world, which I think is absolutely awful. Yeah. It's an awful comment section there, way worse than Instagram. I think it's not very proactive, really.
Yeah, sometimes
but that happened I was watching a podcast, and that happened in every single part of the world.
Yeah.
This one, I'm from Venezuela, so this podcast was from Venezuela, and he was telling like he did something, somebody kind of took a story like from a very nice place, and he received that much hate that he has to close the account.
Yeah.
So at the end, it's like internet at the moment is very weird place. Sometimes can be very good or can be very nasty.
Oh, yeah, well, it's both. That is like a coin, no?
Yeah, I've experienced that once or twice.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just take what you're saying the completely wrong way, and it doesn't matter what you say.
They take it out of context.
Oh,
right?
completely.
Take it out of context.
So
oh, yeah. Completely. I've experienced that, but luckily I'm doing this long enough now that I know what to do, and what not to do.
Yeah, you know, if you're not in a good place, sometimes can be
exactly.
Stay away from that.
The negative stuff.
Negative stuff.
Yeah, so I generally think, guys, most of us are still very, very open, and I think if there's a little bit more education for some of the younger folk who are a little bit more gullible online, it could be even better. But yeah, I think it's a global thing as well at the moment. Where everyone's suspicious of everybody for some strange reason.
Yeah. Tell me. Well, we're gonna move on a little bit. How many countries have you visited for holidays or?
I tried to think of this the other day. I think it's 17. I think
17.
Could be 17.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. So what happened last year was, because I work 4 days a week.
Okay.
I chose to work 4 days a week. The 5 days were just crazy, and
I used the same.
Oh, you the same? Yeah.
No, I want to do the same.
You want
I'm
to do
not
the
there
same.
yet, but I want to.
Financially.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Well, but
sometimes we needed a little more energy.
Yeah.
Go back, you know, like to back to work the following week.
You need one day
full
to
of
do the
energy.
cleanup and the cooking.
Yeah.
And the other 2 days to get rest, and the other day to actually enjoy life, you know?
Yeah. Well, the reason why I did it was because I'm trying to think of other things to do outside of my regular job, like, you know, with the channel, and maybe devote more time to video editing and kind of harness my skills. So basically, what we're getting back to your point or your question. With those 3 days, I said, you know what? There's some countries in Europe that I haven't been to, and actually annoys me that I haven't been there. It's like, it's so glaringly obvious. Why have you not gone there? So last year I went to Belgium, I went to Austria, I went to Hungary, and I'd never been to Italy. So I went to Milan.
Haven't you?
Yeah, and that was my first time. And then this year I was in Lisboa in Portugal 3 weeks ago. So I'm still trying to tick that off the list. So I think that's helped my list. Now, I've been to Brazil, I've been to Argentina, and I went really random. 20 years ago, I went to Moscow in Russia for a weekend to see Ireland play Russia in football. Of course, we got beaten, but that's okay. So my friends were like, "Hey, come on, let's go to Russia. When? In 3 weeks? Okay, right.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, queued up the Russian visa in the south of the Russian embassy for a visa and everything. So I think it's 17 guys. Yeah. So what I want to try, I'm thinking next maybe Finland or Estonia or Croatia or Poland, because I've kind of pretty much hit this side of Europe, you know.
Yes, tell me, I saw as well another video when you're still like, the gas man in Brazil.
I think he was up until 2 o'clock this morning.
I was
in his bed going doom scrolling through.
I was gossiping, but I'm talking the more funny ones because he went
good gossip, Jorge.
I went to one of the videos that he was talking an experience of the gas man.
Oh yeah. Hola Pamonia. Oh yeah. Man, that was so funny.
But then, were you staying in a hotel or a close friend?
So basically, on that trip, when I heard that the gas man shouting, that was, I'm just laughing. I'm getting the googles.
I don't know. For you in Venezuela, is that common, the gas man? Because in Mexico, it is. You know, like 7 in the morning, and they say like gas, back at their gas or something like that.
Yeah. I used to live in an apartment,
You
and
didn't hear
it's like a huge thing that is refilled once a month.
You're posh.
Not really. The posh people will live in houses. I was like, rural girl. Yeah.
Well, like, squeeze me. But what happened that day was, with that first trip to Brazil, because I started my Dublin videos, I heard all these Brazilian people telling me, oh, this place is great. Brazil is this, Brazil is that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the job I was in at the time, I was there for 3 years, and I was thinking about maybe making a change anyway. There was a changeover of management. So I said, okay, maybe I can use this opportunity to just go there, come back, and start working in tourism again and continue my tour guiding job. So I did that. And I stayed in the apartment of one of my dear friends, Mariana, who was married to one of my best friends from Dublin. Okay. But at the time, they had a long distance thing. He was living in Los Angeles and she was living in Rio with her family. But luckily, he had a pretty good job, still does, and she was able to visit Brendan every now and again. Okay. So Mariana said to me, amigo, come on over, stay in the family house. And it was in an area of Rio de Janeiro. Okay. Which was just amazing. It's just, how can I say? It was a ready place. It was just ready for anything. There was so much energy and fun. And basically, I was in the bedroom and all I could hear outside was I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I'll hear is hola Pamonia, hola Pamonia, hola Pamonia. And that was the gas man. And I'm just not used to that. In Ireland, the only time you ever hear music on the street is if it's a sunny day and the ice cream man is selling you 99 ice creams.
Yeah.
And a really bad picture of Popeye painted on the top.
Yeah, it is.
I'm that kid, you know. So I was just like fascinated by this man. I said to Mariana, "What's he doing?" "Oh, that's the guy selling gas." I'm like, oh, "Okay, fair enough." Yeah, the gas man. Yeah, hola pomonia. But that's what that was. That day.
That was hola pomonia. I never heard about it.
Hola pomonia. Hola gas. Yeah.
Tell us another
hilarious.
story that you have passing in those trips, like something that you can say like, okay, that one is something that I'm gonna keep it for the rest of my life.
Oh God, let's see, that's a great question. Oh yeah,
I can tell you something. One day when I went to Italy, I think we were talking about it. I was on the flight, about to take my flight back to Dublin, but I went to a different airport.
Yeah.
And I was like half an hour like about to take my flight. So long story short, I lost. I get.
You got confused with the airport.
I got confused with the airports, but I was like praying for all the gods because they, was the last flight, and then the next one was in 2 days.
But variety is the spice of life, Jorge. One airport here, one airport there. Who cares? Mix life up.
Yeah.
You somewhere in the back of your mind, you consciously made that decision to go to that airport.
Okay.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So
I'm gonna take it that way.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another. When I was in Brazil, just sometimes people just never heard of Ireland. It was kind of interesting. So like I would say, Estou de Irlanda, and they'd say Hollandia. Like, no, Irlanda. Hollandia. No, Irlanda. Alemania. No, Irlanda. Hollandia. It was just, it was just, they never heard of it even, you know. I don't know. Even like transport was pretty good. The food was interesting. Oh yeah, I remember one time. So in South America, Central America, you guys love your meat. You love seasoning your meat. It's all good stuff. And the Brazilians, of course, they have their churrasco. The first ever churrasco I had in Brazil, went around to my friend's house, Pedro, one of my best friends from Brazil, and he actually lived here, and I stayed with him in Rio Grande do Sul, which is the southernmost province.
So you actually had the best beef.
Yes, exactly. I went to Rio Grande do Sul.
I know a few people from there, and it's like...
Well, I was sitting there eating the meat, and they're like cutting it out, and they're putting their salt on. There's a difference between the salt they put on in Brazil and the ones in Ireland. It was like half of a snowstorm of salt. It was like snowballs. It was just
sal grossa.
Yeah, it was like, the bean bags when they empty. It's like someone just upturned a bean bag and put it on one piece of meat. And I picked it up and I'm like, and then I had to run and leave, and they're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "And I can't feel my tongue." I said, "I can't feel my tongue." There was so much salt on the meat. I had to go into the tap in the bedroom, in the bathroom, and put on to cold and full whack and just go. And I couldn't speak for about 20 minutes because I wasn't used to the amount of salt. But apparently that's just what they do. So that's a little story for you. Yeah. Do you know in Dumb and Dumber, the movie with Jim Carrey?
Oh yeah.
When the guy said, "I can't feel my hands, they're numb." That's what I sounded like. I can't feel my tongue because of the salt. But
you got that word that day.
Yeah, I did. I was in the wars that day, man. I swear to God. But I treated that experience with eyes wide open. I just jumped on every bus. I didn't care. Like sometimes you'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a bus, and I had no real good Portuguese at the time, and I was just praying that I was still on the correct bus. It was just toilet breaks, so it was okay. Yeah. He could have been telling me, if someone wants to go to here, you need to get off this bus and divert over to another place. But luckily, everything was okay. I was recognized over there as well, which was weird on my second time I went over. People saying hello to me on the metro in Sao Paulo. Yeah. Walking down Avenue de Paulista. Like, "Hi, Ross." Hi.
Oh, really?
That's really?
Great.
Like, I'm not, yeah. I was at a party one night, and a guy was standing beside me, and he had a bottle of beer, and he looked at me, and they went, He said, "What are you doing here? I was watching you on YouTube today." He said, "Am I drunk? I definitely seen you on YouTube today." And another guy in Brazil, he seen me, he started crying. He was just like, "Oh, I can't believe you're here." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Hey, how are you?" I know. It's only when you do these kind of things, you've no idea. Because you guys know, if you record a podcast, you record a reel, it's something you do for about an hour of the day, and you finish it, and it's like, okay, that's off my schedule. you don't think about
the impact that it's going to have.
How organic it gets, or who shares it, and who gets into it. And that was a real example of it, I suppose.
Yeah, the impact that you have on your content.
Yeah, it's insane.
When did you travel to Brazil? Before or after
when
the
did I
pandemic?
travel? Before, so what happened was 2018. I went in April. It was April 2018 up until July 2018. So I was there for 3 months.
Oh my God.
I was going to be there for 2 months.
Wow.
And I said, I'm having way too much fun. And my cousin's wife was a travel agent, and I said, hey Claire, I'm thinking about staying in Brazil for another month. Oh, okay, it's like €100 to change your flight. Boom, send her over €100, and I stayed for another month. Wow. I was having too much fun. I'm like, no way, let's continue the adventure. And the second trip was when I was a year or two into doing the food videos, and I was going over with eDublin for an XP event, which was promoting Ireland and, selling eDublin's packages that they were doing at the time. So January to 2020 until March of 2020. So the event got cancelled. I was about to spend St. Patrick's Day in Brazil. That was cancelled. Leo Varadkar, the Taoiseach, who is still the Taoiseach, well, now, he said, basically anybody who's Irish, get home. And so I went on to Skyscanner, got a flight from Sao Paulo to Heathrow in London, Heathrow back to Dublin, gone. Yeah. And my friend who I was staying with, Marco, we had just gone shopping the night before, and I was kind of like, oh, hi, Marco. He just got home from work. I'm leaving. So, what do you mean leaving? I'm like, yeah, I'm going home tomorrow. Oh. But he was like, do you know what, man? We're all looking at the news. I can't blame you. Yeah. Just get home, be with your family, be safe. Yeah. Because particularly, I think the first recorded COVID case in Sao Paulo was in the same district that we were living in at the time, so everybody was kind of freaked.
The first month of COVID, where like everybody was freaking out.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know if you guys can remember Tom Hanks, the actor. He got COVID, and it was almost like he was given like 2 weeks to live, the way people were talking. Yeah. Did you hear Tom Hanks got COVID?
Yeah.
And after everything that we've been through, I know everybody had a different experience. Of course, a lot of people aren't here because of it. Yeah. But at the time, it was like just nothing else but a death sentence in our eyes.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, everybody was freaked out.
I had a friend that he used to work in Porterhouse.
Yeah.
And he met the patient zero. There was a couple of Italians. They were here. They were at the pub.
Yeah, for the rugby.
He was very sick, but he thought it was only a flu. And he and his girlfriend, they were like dying at the house. They're like, no, it's just the flu. My friend was like, no, it's just the sinus.
Yeah, and some people still get it every now and again. But anyway, that was then. But that's how I was there. You haven't been there in a long time. Yeah.
Well, Ross, thank you for
Thanks for having me, guys.
Really, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Let's do part 2. Let's do part 3.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to do the part 2 and part 3. Going. Yeah. And like all the people as well that they are watching us, so they're gonna be more than happy to know a little bit more about you.
Sure. And if anybody wants to, drop a comment.
Please, let us know how they can find you on social media.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you're on Instagram, all one word, talk to Ross, TalkToross. I also have a YouTube channel that I'm very, very lazy on. Very lazy. But I uploaded a new vlog. My friends were bullying me last week because I keep calling it vlog for some reason. But vlog, that's what the cool kids call it, where I went to Lisbon and you can see my adventures there. Yeah, I recorded a new vlog. It's actually a vlog, Ross. Oh, shut up. So get me on YouTube, Talk to Ross. Get me on Instagram, Talk to Ross. And also make sure you check out the guys here at SEDA. Cool.
There we go. There you have him. Guys, follow him. And remember that if you have any questions, just tag us over here. Leave in the comments. And of course, we're going to have our part 2. And well, thank you so much for watching us today. And see you in another episode of Desde Irlanda.
Para el mundo. Bye bye, guys.
Buenos días.
Yeah, buenos días.